A Livonia man wore his mother's wedding band every day as a constant reminder that she was always with him.
And you feel safe when you have that with you.
But after walking into this men's locker room, he hasn't seen it since, and he's hoping you can help track down this irreplaceable item.
And welcome to Friday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. Gorgeous sunshine, 70s out there. I've got some changes, including showers, storms possibly this weekend. We'll talk about that and some sunshine first at 4.
All right, Andrew, also the search right now for a sexual predator. An assault victim helps police come up with this sketch of her attacker. And the latest odd twist in this campaign season involves President Obama's place of birth. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4 starts now.
Live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Westland police need your help to find a man wanted for a number of crimes, including sexual assault. Officers have released this sketch. The armed robbery and sexual assault happened at a business near Wayne Road and Palmer last Friday. Police say the suspect threatened a female employee with a weapon, demanding money. After he got that money, he sexually assaulted her, then stole her car. If you recognize this man in this sketch or know anything about the crime, please call police. We are getting our first look at the Oak Park man charged in the murder of his wife and her sister. 61-year-old Abdul Akhenaton is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and a felony firearms violation. Investigators say that he killed his sister-in-law, Gay Richardson, at a home on Church Street, then shot and killed his wife, Alice, while she was in her car. The 61-year-old was denied bond and will be back in court later this month. A Dearborn police officer will stand trial for charges of inappropriately touching a woman during a traffic stop. Justin Smith, right there on your screen, is charged with second-degree criminal sexual conduct and other common law offenses. The charge is about an alleged sexual assault of a woman the officer knows as a waitress at a local restaurant. The unidentified woman claims Smith inappropriately touched her chest during a traffic stop back in May. Right now, Smith is suspended without pay. Well, a heads up for drivers in Oakland County this weekend as 5 miles of I-75 are set to close. Both northbound and southbound lanes of 75 will close between Crooks and M59. The closures start tonight at 11. The lanes are set to reopen Monday morning at 5. Now, of course, you can find a list of detours and more traffic alerts on clickondetroit.com. Well, we're knocking on the weekend, and it sounds like it's going to be kind of a mixed bag of weather for us, Andrew.
Karen, you're exactly right. I mean, we're starting off with gorgeous weather today, and look at these warm conditions. Feeling like summer out there, and it is still summer, by the way, for at least the next six days. 77 at Pontiac, 77 over at Metro Airport and over at City Airport. Temps in the mid-70s in all of our zones as well, even upper 70s in our south zone in Adrian, where it's now 79 degrees. But look to our west and to our south. Yeah, we got some shower and thunderstorm activity that wants to get in on the party for this weekend, and it certainly will. Starting with this evening, some of the shower activity that you saw down in parts of Indiana, that may arrive later on this evening after 8 p.m. Clouds will be overhead, might even see a shower or two or hear a rumble of thunder for tomorrow morning. Temps fall down to around 65 degrees overnight after 70s later on this evening. So if you have any dinner plans or late night plans, it's not a total washout for tonight, but be prepared for wet conditions here and there. But we've got some sunshine for your weekend as well. Now remember, we can get weather alerts for live radar on the local forecasters app. When these showers come in, you can track them yourself. Weather right in the palm of your hand. The local forecasters app, download it for free from your app store. Just search for WDIV.
Thank you very much, Andrew. A Livonia man is devastated tonight after thieves took something he can never replace. Take a look. This is a ring that we are talking about, given to him by his mother before she died of cancer. It was taken from a locked locker at the Livonia Rec Center. Lauren Podell reports on the ring's importance and the effort to get it back.
Take a good hard look at this diamond ring. As soon as it was stolen from a Livonia man, he went straight to police. The next place he went, Facebook. These pictures have been shared over 1,000 times, and he's hoping someone will return it.
I was holding her hand when she was taken off of the breathing machine, so I felt her let go. And it kind of like brings back the feeling of having it stolen. Spartan, sorry.
This ring is more than just a piece of jewelry to Ryan Law of Livonia. It was his mother's wedding band that he's worn every day for the last 13 years, ever since his mother passed away from cancer.
I understand people probably bash me for bringing something like that into a locker room, but I have a lock. I've been here for 8 years. I've been a member. I've never had a problem.
That locker was at the Livonia Rec Center, where Law went to work out Wednesday at 3 p.m. An hour later, his wallet, his ring, his lock, all gone.
Thought I was safe bringing it in here. I have a nice lock. Apparently bolt cutters can cut locks. I kicked a towel machine. I went through garbage cans looking for my IDs or my locks. I literally ran as fast as I could to the front desk.
The rec center is on the case. With cameras pointed straight towards the men's locker room entrance, police and staff will be going over minute after minute of footage. With 48 cameras in place, Director Dave Vargas says security is number one.
We're going to do our best to hopefully get to the bottom of this and get an answer, and hopefully he finds the ring. I mean, that's really what we want to see happen.
As for the ring, it's unique.
It's 14 karat gold, and it's a floating diamond, so if you looked at it from the side, you'd say, wow, how's that even holding in there?
And while Ryan is slowly getting back the contents of his wallet, he's hoping someone will have the heart to give back what's irreplaceable.
That one piece, the ring, couldn't be replaced. All the other stuff can. I can go pay money to get my driver's license. I can go pay to get my CPL license. I can go get all that stuff replaced, but I can't replace a deceased mother's gift to me.
Reporting from Livonia, Lauren Podell, Local 4.
And there were no other reports of thefts or locker break-ins that day. If you happen to have any information about the stolen ring, you're asked to call Livonia Police. First at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines all around the world this Friday afternoon. The former boyfriend of Bobby Christina Brown has been found legally responsible for her death. A judge made that ruling today after Nick Gordon failed to show up for the second time at a civil hearing, which means anything alleged against him in the civil suit is now admitted through omission. Brown was the only child of Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. Her family claims Gordon drugged Bobby Christina and then drowned her in a bathtub. Gordon has not been criminally charged in her death. Today, Donald Trump finally admitted President Obama was born in the United States. The Republican presidential nominee was at an event in D.C. to honor veterans when he acknowledged that President Obama was in fact born in the U.S. Trump went on to accuse Hillary Clinton of starting the controversy over the president's place of birth.
Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther controversy. I finished it. You know what I mean. President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
Trump is now on his way to a campaign rally in Miami. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton criticizing Trump for leading the birther controversy and called on him to apologize to President Obama and the American people. She went on to say Trump traffics in conspiracy theories and should not be president. Clinton told the crowd she is feeling much better and joked her pneumonia has Republicans interested in women's health issues. The brand new iPhone 7 and 7 Plus finally out in stores. The bad news, Apple says initial quantities of the larger iPhone 7 Plus have sold out, as well as the jet black iPhone 7. So if you are still looking to get the newest iPhone, you can find all of the other colors, but in limited quantities. The new models feature improved cameras and will no longer have that traditional headphone jack. Well, with the end of the fiscal year 2016, we're learning more about a shift in our eating habits. Devin Skillian is here with a look at the trend away from sit-down restaurants.
It's interesting stuff, Karen. This is the week that a lot of companies reveal how they've done over the past fiscal year, and certain truths start to come to light. And it has been a rough year for sit-down chain restaurants. Take, for example, Ruby Tuesday. Its CEO is resigning as the company lowers its sales forecast again following a 5-year trend, and the chain says they plan to close more of their locations. Let's move to Chili's. They saw a sales decline of more than 2% in fiscal 2016. Applebee's is down again after a slight bump of 0.2% last year. So the trend is toward convenience and speed. A decade ago, 53% of the restaurant industry fell into what's known as the sit-down category. Now it's flip-flop. Fast food holds that same number of 53%. Well, where's the business gone? There's been growth in convenience stores, the prepared food sections of supermarkets, meal delivery companies, which we've reported on here, also independent restaurants, which has been the story, of course, of the dining scene in Detroit. Experts say this is due to young people being more on the go. They want their food to be the same. Interesting. Karen, back to you.
All right, thank you, Devin. Still ahead, a clever new idea in the fight against drunk driving, how a patch worn on the skin could give the warning sign many people need to make that right decision. Plus, why the future of ear infection treatment could involve one dose and not in the form of a pill.
Kevin Dietz, Karen Drew, the longest-running investigative team in Detroit. You can depend on the defenders.
Yeah. Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
A lot of us come to the gym for a good workout, but there's a special reason why veterans come to this downriver gym. We'll tell you more on Local 4.
In good health, researchers say an antibiotic gel could someday help ease ear infections. The gel is squirted into the ear once to coat the eardrum and slowly seeps in to treat the infection. So far, it's only been tested in animals, but the results were really promising. Experts say developing a single-dose treatment could help reduce the problem of antibiotic-resistant infections, since many patients fail to finish the current treatment of 10 days of antibiotics. And a health alert for families in Macomb County today, where health officials have confirmed the county's first case of West Nile virus this year. We're told the resident is now recovering. Health officials are reminding families that mosquitoes are most active in the evening, so use insect repellent that contains DEET when outside during that time. Any buckets or kiddie pools should be emptied when not being used to prevent mosquitoes from laying eggs. Andrew is back. Pretty nice afternoon so far.
Yes.
No complaints on that.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, the weekend, a slightly different story, Karen. Now, it's not a complete washout. There is some rain, but only for the very start of our weekend. Then sunnier skies, certainly on Sunday. Take a look right now. Yeah, we've got some clouds mixed in, but guess what? This is a picture of radar also. Nothing appearing, meaning no rain falling in Detroit or anywhere in southeast Michigan. Just the way we like it. As we go through this evening, though, you see a few showers that are here. These far to our north stay across the UP. You got some more moisture, a lot more, in fact, south of Kansas City. But this little line right here setting up around Indianapolis and northern Indiana, this will be the first wave that arrives earlier rather than later. I'm talking about this evening, 8 p.m. and afterwards. So if you have any dinner plans, certainly don't cancel them. But be prepared for some wet conditions on area roadways. We're looking at 75 warm degrees right now. Some folks still out with boats on the water. Beautiful sunshine mixed in with those fair weather clouds. Now, because of the clouds overhead and some warmer air moving in, we're looking at temperatures in the 60s tonight. Middle and upper 60s in our metro zone. Same thing in our south zone, areas south of US 12, Michigan Avenue. 68 in Dundee overnight, 67 in Blissfield. Fairly uniform temperatures to our west as well. West zone, west of 275, 66 to 68 degrees, and north of Hall Road, under the clouds and a few showers scattered about this evening and overnight. Temperatures between 66 and 69 degrees north of Hall Road as well. Let's turn our attention to the tropics, shall we? And actually closer than the tropics, still the United States. And we're still looking at Julia. You still see the outer bands being pictured right here with scattered showers off the coastline, but it's going to still hover over this region as we go over the entire weekend. So there's still the possibility of rain impacting parts of the Carolinas as it wobbles around and goes in and out from being a tropical storm to a tropical depression. Certainly no worries for us around here directly. We have temperatures that are in the 70s right now, even 82 degrees in places like Ferndale, and it remains warm as we go through this evening. But notice what happens here on this computer model. You can see the first line of a few showers arriving in some of our western and southern zones once again. Ann Arbor down to Monroe at 8 o'clock this evening. They pass over Detroit shortly after 8 o'clock. Scattered showers about as we go into tomorrow morning when I join you for the first part of the weekend. And notice on Saturday, even for things like the football game over in Ann Arbor, Michigan taking on Colorado, bring a poncho. Not very widely scattered rain, but still on and off showers with a few thunderstorms. So far, nothing to be predicted as severe, but anytime there's lightning, you always want to be careful. And again, no washout for your Saturday, but again, just be prepared for some rain. For tonight, temperatures down to 65 overnight, and before that, some showers on and off this evening and overnight. Showers during the day on Saturday, Karen. Notice how it clears out nicely. A little cooler, temps in the 70s, but we'll take the sunshine on Sunday and sunshine much of next week and warm for the last few days of fall.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Well, it could be an easy way for drinkers to know when they've had too much to get behind the wheel. A startup in Albuquerque, New Mexico developed a patch that can read blood alcohol level through sweat on your skin. New Mexicans who know how devastating DWI can be want to end it, starting with this little patch.
New Mexico is just one of the states with the highest DUI occurrences, also deaths. So we just saw the problem here as very prevalent, and it's not really being solved.
Albuquerque startup Dermatech has developed a patch that senses alcohol intake through your sweat, called On Us Blue, as in it's on us to end drunk driving.
So let's say you go out with your friends, you put it on and you start to have some drinks. And obviously it changes color after about 40 minutes. And that color indicates that you're no longer qualified to be a designated driver.
Once they do, they hope to work with bars, restaurants, and companies to make customized ones. So, for example, a bar could get a fun branded patch for a designated driver and check it when they're on their way out the door.
We're not saying don't drink. We're just saying drink responsibly. If you choose to drink, just get a designated driver, get a hero for the night, or an Uber driver.
They also hope to sell them to families and friends to encourage accountability and keep drinkers off the roads. The company has set a goal of bringing their product to market in about 8 months. They chose the word honest because it is Latin for responsibility. Ahead, first at 4, the internet having a lot of fun with this Google Maps image that proves the company takes privacy very, very seriously. And up next, some very princely behavior by the heir to England's royal throne when something went wrong at a public event.
My grandfather.
Time now for a look at today's top trending stories. A British dignitary who fell during a royal visit to a school got some help by none other than Prince William. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge were at the school as part of a campaign that helps those with mental illness. Had just arrived and were greeting officials. That's when the Queen's representative took a tumble. The two rushed to his side. Right there you can see, along with others, as Prince William helped him up. The good news is that man was not hurt. Well, Google has proven they do not discriminate when it comes to security after they actually blurred the face of a cow right there that was captured on Street View. The picture of the cow was taken in August of last year in the UK, but on Monday, an editor from The Guardian tweeted the picture of the mystery cow saying, "Great to see Google takes cow privacy so seriously." The tweet and image has since received more than 10,000 retweets and 13,000 likes. Another story trending this afternoon, University of Detroit Mercy has a brand new logo. University officials unveiled the logo yesterday during the school's Welcome Back event for the new year, inspired by the Old English D. The logo includes a large red D with a smaller M set in the middle. University officials say while the school name remains the same, it will be referred to as Detroit Mercy instead of the acronym UDM. All right, we're going to be talking about this. It's an end of an era for a history-making Cedar Point roller coaster, and we are taking you down memory lane. Buckle in.
Her therapists call her the most motivated patient they've ever worked with.
As much as we try to give back to our patients, she's the one that gives so much back to us.
Throughout that process of being in the wheelchair, I was like, that's not who I am.
A bizarre crash left her partially paralyzed.
It makes me realize how thankful and blessed I am.
Now this one-time athlete is getting ready to cross the finish line in one of the most special races of her life.
Believe that I can do it.
Tonight at 11, this local woman's inspirational story, her life-changing mission and determination to beat the odds. Right now.
Well, finally, first at 4, we're talking roller coasters. You're a roller coaster guy.
Big fan. We did Cedar Point a month ago.
I know, so kind of a sad day for you and lots of folks. The Cedar Point's tallest, fastest wooden roller coaster, the Mean Streak, will take its last trip around the track as the ride is set to close in just a couple of hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long does it take to drive down there? It does take 2 hours. For some of us, it's our first big ride that we can remember, opening when many of us were kids back in 1991, and it generated a lot of excitement. Take a look for yourself. Wow. Classic wooden roller coaster.
No, you know that clickety-clack, that always got me so nervous. I don't know why the wooden roller coasters are scarier to me.
Well, they're made of wood, so
maybe that's why.
You think they're rattling around, you can really feel it a lot more.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for First at 4. Inside Edition is next. Have a good weekend.